Hello everybody. Welcome. I'm excited to be with you here live with the Pleaidians. Very keen to come and speak to you about this planetary shift that is happening in the next couple of days. Really, it's the beginning of it as we move into Uranus, into Taurus. And as always, I'm always a little bit nervous, excited, delighted to do this. And it's always stepping into the unknown. And what perfect way to do it, of course, with a shift of Uranus, because Uranus has everything to do with the unexpected. So, I'm hoping that the sound is all right. So let me know if there's echo today. I have turned down the volume, so hopefully it will be better than the last recording. And thank you all for your great questions. So many of you have asked questions, and I will also attempt to answer questions online live with you as well. Well, I don't know about you, but one of the things that I'm noticing for me, I'd like to start off with, is to say that things seem to be changing more quickly. And I'm having to learn to just change plans without worrying about it. And today I was all set to go to Marathoners, had everything packed, I was ready. I was just heading off to the garage to go and get my car and to drive off to see my dear friend in Marathoners over the next few days. And I pressed the button to get the ramp to go up. And blow me down, the ramp broke after about 6 inches. So the cars above me are sitting 6 inches in the air, maybe a little more. And my car, I can just see underneath, and of course I can't get to it. Well, it's Sunday. Of course, not much happens here in Greece on a Sunday, so I had to stay put and change the plans on a dime. And I've had a wonderful day because I thought Uranus into Taurus, do not resist whatever comes up, especially if it's a change of plan. So I had a moment of disappointment and I thought, no, there's a reason for this. If you can say to yourself, there's a reason for this happening. If you can say to yourself, maybe I'm not supposed to be going there. Maybe this is not supposed to be happening now. Maybe my timing's not right. So I shall accept what is happening. And I have to be honest that I'm now making very, very loose arrangements with people. Not my clients, of course, that's a different thing. But in terms of friends and meetings, just loose. Keep it loosey-goosey because Uranus-Taurus may well shake things up. So that's my little party piece there for you. And I guess we will just bring in, will this shift bring more awareness of the Pleaidians? Well, I'm going to bring them in now. Yes, of course it will. Of course it will. There'll be more awareness of all kinds of extraterrestrial activity. Yes, you've not been able to really relax and know that it's safe. Many of you have got all these films around wars and aliens coming to annihilate you and all that sort of stuff. But actually, really, if you really tune in to different frequencies, which you're going to be encouraged to do as we move into this Uranus into Taurus, which is already happening as far as we're done, it's a done deal. And many of you are already feeling that on a profound level. You're feeling as though something is changing and you can't keep up with it in a way. It's like, oh goodness, yes, how to keep up with everything that's going on. And we are going to just say to you, with Uranus into Taurus, it's important to get into your body, because the body can have a re-frequency shift. How can we explain that? You can have a vast awakening in the physical body quickly. There is great disillusionment with your current medical system. Not all of it, yes, not all of it is difficult, but much of it is, and many of you are really frightened about the system and frightened about what might happen to you. And what is now happening is this shift of Uranus into Taurus gives you an opportunity for a quick rewire of your physical form. Uranus, Taurus. Taurus the physical, Taurus the body, Taurus the love of the body, Uranus an awakening in the body to different electrical impulses. The electrical impulses are different on planet Earth than they were 6-7 years ago. And you're going to be able to tune into these new frequencies. And the more of you that do it, that are not afraid of it, you see, so many people are afraid of this and that and the other. There's so much fear on the planet right now, yes? The fear is escalating at the same time. There are those who are saying, no more. Don't want to live this way anymore. There's got to be a different way. Well, there is a different way. And you are really going to find that there is more of you really joining communities. And this is an online community, and there'll be many different communities connecting up at the speed of light and faster than the speed of light. Your physics is going to change. Everything that you've understood about your Earth is going to become a little obsolete. You'll say, goodness, did we really believe that? Oh dear, how could we have believed? For example, there are those of you who still believe in a flat Earth, but there are those of you who say, well, no, the Earth is not flat. But you're going to find out much more about the workings of planet Earth and your body upon planet Earth and what it can do and what it has not yet discovered that it can do, and also what it is going to remember that it can do, you see. So there is a huge amount of opportunity here. If you want it, you must ask for it. We're going to tell you here very surely and clearly. Only those of you ask for it are going to receive it. It isn't something that is pushed upon you, yes? You're not forced upon it. But if you wish to have a re-frequency shift in your vibratory field, then ask for it. And then, don't be surprised if things start to shift quickly and you feel as though you're on a moving carpet. Everything's moving. And just say to yourself, the Pleaidians said things are just going to move, so I'm going to accept things are just moving. So you'll find that speed changes, time changes. You'll notice that we pace ourselves differently. Sometimes we have to get a lot of information in quickly, and we go fast, 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 and then we go slower, slower. Just so that you have a moment to just take it all in. And you don't need long. You used to need eons and eons for things to happen. Not so anymore. You're going to have medical advances that you've never had before. You're going to be growing limbs, growing new eyes, new things in the most miraculous of ways. You'll say, goodness, how on earth could we not have thought of this before? Why didn't we see it before? Well, there was not the opportunity. There was not the opening on your planet for this to happen. So there is a marvelous opening happening on the planet. And the main thing is to let yourself be alive. To say, I'm alive at the most wonderful time of change on our planet. I've chosen to be alive now, and I'm excited to be alive. Woo! Yeah. Yeah. So your planet is waking up. You're waking up, your planet is waking up. The two are happening together. There is much help from other planets right now, much help. And many of you may disbelieve this and say, what a load of nonsense. And that's all right too. Yes, because to some of you it will appear like nonsense, to others it will resonate like mad, and you'll be singing and dancing and you'll say, goodness gracious, isn't this wonderful? And music and toning and voicing and everything to do with music, and if music be the food of love, as your Shakespeare wrote many eons ago, this is going to be a topic, because you see, love and music and the way you speak and the way you talk and the gentleness that needs to come through to wake up, to wake up. Uranus is always a wake up, wake up, wake up call. And this is a wake-up call for you to see that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And to embrace it. Don't resist whatever is happening. Say, ha-ha, great. I embrace it. Yeah. So we're going to look at some questions here because we can talk away. We've just done 10 minutes at the drop of a hat here, haven't we? So a question here that has been asked is, how will it affect family and intimate relationships? Yes. Well, what it's going to do is it's going to open things up. Things that have not been working will fall apart in order for you to let go and release old ways of being, old habit patterns. Taurus has everything to do with habit patterns. It's a releasing of old habit patterns, all the things you thought you had to do that you've been trained to do. Many of you are really like dogs or puppets or robots, really. You're just doing what you've been taught to do and you're not really thinking for yourselves. You're not creatively trying to change things. But you're going to be able to do it more easily now. That we're going to tell you. However, there will be breakups. There will be reformulations of relationships, especially relationships that you've been holding on to. Especially people that you've been relying on. A certain stability. That's going to change. Because you're going to realize that nothing is stable. It's going to be shown to you very soon with Uranus in Taurus. But it's not to be scared. It's to welcome it and say, you know what? Anything that has been unhealthy, may it leave my vibration. And it may be frightening, and you may have tears, and you may have anger, and you may have all those emotions. And again, don't resist them. Barbara goes through all kinds of things in a day, in an hour, with us here. And we know that many of you do too now. So your intimate relationships can get closer, and they can go further apart. It really depends on the frequency that you're both resonating at. If you allow one another freedom, 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 do not smother and suffocate one another. No, 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 no. And the wonderful thing that's happening is you're going to move into more communities. You're not going to rely on 1 or 2 or 3 people. You're going to find that there are many people that you can speak to and resonate with and talk to. It's not as isolated as it used to be. Uranus in Taurus brings Earth communities together in exciting and creative ways. Yeah. Yeah. It's wonderful. So don't be afraid if something falls apart. You know, Barbara's relationships are very much changing. And people that she thought she could rely on, well, you know, it's shifting. And it's a good thing because she's learning that she can rely on her innards and not her outards, so to speak. Yeah. You'll be able to look inside. You'll be able to trust inside more. You'll find that there are more who are resonating with you more and more and more. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're being asked here, how is it going to affect health? Big question for people. We've covered it through a little bit, but what we're going to say is that it can affect the health of all the signs. It's not restricted just to Taurians or fixed signs or anything like that. It's to do with a shift in the chemistry of the human being, the brain chemistry particularly. There will be a shifting of the mental connections and the way that you connect with one another, the way that you see one another, and there'll be all kinds of different emotions that you have not yet experienced that are going to come up. Isn't that exciting? You're all too familiar with fear and anger and blah, 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 blah. There are going to be some other emotions, beautiful ones. Emotions of deep caring for one another on a very deep level. Many of you talk about it. You read the books, you read the spiritual stuff, but sometimes you want to kill people, don't you? We know. But it's going to shift. It's going to shift. It is shifting. Yeah. So, We've been asked about wars. Is there going to be war, World War III, all kinds of terrible things? Well, there's going to be disruptions. We're not going to say that everything is going to be, smoothie-woothie and predictable. It's not going to be predictable. And you're going to have to trust your intuition as to where you're guided to be. And as we said, your plans may change all of a sudden in the last minute, and just say to yourself, great. I'm supposed to be here, I'm not supposed to be moving. Recently, Barbara was away and she wanted to leave where she was desperately. And you know what? There were no flights that were empty. There was not a seat to be found in sight. And so she had to accept to stay where she was. And it was a wonderful learning, growing, emotional experience. Not easy, of course, but nonetheless opening. So you're opening yourself up to more experiences. You're opening yourself up to feel more, to experience more. There's been a contraction of humanity, a contraction. When you go into fear, you contract. This is an opening. How will it affect finances? Somebody has asked here. Well, everything about money and everything to do with value and how you spend money and what you do with money and how you pay for things, all that's changing, as you can see, what with digitalization of things and things shifting on many different levels. But as you all know, money has been a painful thing for most. Money carries a great deal of heaviness. And Uranus in Taurus is an awakening to be able to see that money can be joyful, but in a different way. Everything is going to change. How it's organized, how you see it, how you spend it, what you do with money, everything to do with value, valuing one another, valuing yourselves. All that is going to shift immensely. Immensely. We could go into a lot more detail, but we don't really want to go into too much detail. What we want to do is just activate you here today. There is an activation that takes place, especially as we do this close to the ingress of Uranus into Taurus, especially as we do this at these opportune times when the planets are changing into new frequencies. It's a powerful time for us activating you. And so you're getting activated here as you are with us. Whether you are live, whether you're watching afterwards, doesn't really matter. There is an activation happening. You may feel some warmth. Barbara gets some warmth in her body. You may find that the body needs to move. Allow the body to move. The body may move in funny positions, funny places. Let the body do it. Yeah. Really allow your body to be as free as possible, your voice to be as free as possible. The freedom of everything to do with the physical form is going to be extremely important in the raising of the frequencies. So if you want to sing and you want to tone and you want to do something and you want to stretch your arms and you want to lie on the floor and you want to go into the sea and you want to paddle and you want to do whatever it is, let the body do it. And others may not like it because it may make them feel uncomfortable as to their own body movements and their own restrictiveness. Because you're taught at a very early age to not do this, not do that, not do the other. And Uranus in Taurus, well, the earth is going to get free. All kinds of herbs and remedies and wonderful potions and trees and all kinds of ancestry and all sorts of things are going to come out into the open, things that have been hidden for many centuries. That will be very valuable to you. Woo! Yeah. There will be a new sense of connectivity. Not only technologically, but mentally. You'll tune in, you'll send prayers, you'll send love, things will happen more quickly. And be prepared to not believe what is happening. You're not going to believe it. You're going to say, what? Oh, you are. Yeah. And yes, more light is coming to the planet. That's what this is about. More light is coming into your bodies. Without more light, you grow old, you disease, you age, you get sick, you slow down. The light speeds you up and you're going to find something is faster than light. Ha ha! Ha 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 ha. Yeah. We're moving Barbara around. It's the way that we get our message through, yeah? It's necessary. We know it may be a little distracting for some of you. Maybe some of you don't mind it, and it actually encourages you to move as well, because it's great for you to move. Remember to move that body. Uranus in Taurus is a reminder that you can't sit still. You can be still, but not sit still. Aha. Yeah. So we're going to take another couple of questions, and we're just, as we said, really in the process of feeling you all and connecting with you all, for those of you who want it. We are a loving energy, we love you, we are joyful, we are delighted to be with you, and we are really with you all of the time. Yes, it's not something that comes and goes. Barbara is realizing that we are with her all of the time, and we are with you all of the time. Yeah, we do love you. All right. What will it mean for technology? Some of your questions here, thank you. Well, technology is going to split. Technology will be the higher frequency technology, and technology that is lower, that will just become out of fashion. It will go. Technology for your motor vehicles, for example. Your motor vehicles are primitive. So the way you get about is going to change. Technology, as far as transportation, will be very changeable over the next 14 years, especially as Uranus goes into Gemini in 7 years approximately from now. But you will notice a distinct split in technologies. Technologies that are clean, that are easy, that are energy, that are free, that don't cost money, you see. You've always been looking at the cost, counting the cost. And you'll find you won't be counting costs anymore. You'll be looking at efficiency. You'll be looking at freedom. You'll be looking at equitability for all, for every single creature living on this planet Earth. Yeah. Don't you think this is rather exciting? Don't allow yourself to be frightened. Yes, there's going to be some ups and downs and turbulence. We call this the turbulent belt, because there is a belt of turbulence that the Earth will go through and you will go through. That's all right. Keeps you alive, keeps you awake, keeps you on your toes. You would be bored to tears if everything was same old, same old. Yeah. So we're going to take one more question here. Go back to nature. Well, yes. Nature is going to take on different forms, new species. Nature is going to grow in different ways. You're going to experiment with food. Technology to do with food, with growing of food, with eating of food, how you digest food, your digestive systems are going to shift greatly. Not immediately, for some of you, yes, but there will be a shift in the digestion of food. And how you digest everything. And the speed with which you digest everything. So there's a speeding up, the stagnation. You can free yourself of all stagnation. And the key is not to be frightened by the things that come up. Don't allow yourself to be frightened. Yes, if something doesn't work one day, if something looks strange in your body one day, if you feel a little strange one day, just say it's all part of the shift. I'm in, hands and feet and legs and arms and everything about me is in on this vibratory shift on this planet. I'm in. And I'm not going to get stuck, because Taurus gets stuck, it takes time. I'm determined I will not get stuck. I will let Uranus bounce me about into all kinds of new energies. And I won't get stuck. I'm in. That's what we encourage you to do. So, we are loving you very much. And we're going to say goodbye for now. And you can leave some some more questions, you can email Barbara, you can send questions to the Pleiadians on the community page here, and we're going to bring her back now, and we hope that you've enjoyed these messages from us. We will be back with more, because we are knowing that there will be a growing interest in this, and you will resonate and you will activate, and your lives will be changed. You will see, very positively. Don't let the blips get you down. Just say, I'm above the blip. We love you, love you, love you. Hi, everybody. I hope you enjoyed those messages as much as I enjoyed delivering them to you. I never know what's coming. And it'll be interesting to see. Maybe we'll have a sharing session with what's happening for you. I think it would be really good to see what's happening around our world, to tune in, and also to tune in with one another and see how we can really support one another into this paradigm shift, because things are certainly speeding up, and it's an opportunity to accomplish a great deal outside, I think, of the normal parameters of time. So, thank you very much for tuning in with me. I'm honoured and grateful for you. Bye for now.